Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot to get into here today. All of your Tesla stock news, in which we do have some massive news. Tesla has officially expanded the area of service within Austin, Texas, of course, with their robotaxi service. And you'll never guess what they did to troll everyone. It's actually hilarious. We have a lot of other news as well, specifically pertaining to Tesla. Trump, tariffs, a lot of drama going on. With that today, I will give you the latest in this video. All of everything you need to know about the markets today and about Tesla stock in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And let's get started. So first and foremost, I do want to say the S&P is up 0.13% today. Kind of a so-so day overall in markets, but look at Tesla, up about 1%. And I believe it's because of this big news. Tesla has just officially expanded its robotaxi service area in Austin, Texas, doubling its previous size. And yes, this is the actual service area. What does that look like to you? Well, I'm not going to say it, but you know what it looks like, okay? This is Tesla trolling at its finest, okay? Perhaps saying F you to anyone that doubted us ahead of Tesla earnings. I think it's sending a clear signal that only retail investors are going to pick up on. And I think that signal is, don't bet against Tesla at this point. And I honestly feel bad for anyone that is a chronic hater of Tesla because, yeah, you're about to lose a lot of money. We do know that Tesla has also filed applications to expand into the Phoenix area. And the real question is, coming on Tesla earnings, the I guess, big catalyst, if you will, that sends the stock higher or sends the stock lower has to do with AI and robotaxi scalability. How fast can we scale? Wall Street today doesn't really have high hopes or expectations. They kind of look at Waymo and say, it's taken years to get to 600 vehicles that are operational. They're looking at Tesla and saying, yep, it's going to take a while for Tesla as well. In all reality, Tesla could be in the thousands of robotaxis out on the road next year. And that is the big upside catalyst that I'm looking forward to on Tesla earnings on July 23rd. Now, Sawyer Merritt says it has been 3 weeks since Tesla's robotaxi service launched in Austin, and in that short time, they've already addressed nearly all the app feedback I initially had. These are features that have been added in the last 3 weeks. You can now adjust pickup locations, edit your destination after booking, displays remaining wait time at a pickup in the app, a larger robotaxi service area, walking directions to pickup and your final destination, search results show if a destination closes near arrival time, and design improvements. So Tesla is going full force, full steam ahead on AI and robotaxi. That's exactly what you need to see for Tesla stock to continue to move higher at this point. Now, here on the front page of CNBC, this article says Musk says, quote, he does not support a merger between Tesla and XAI, but backs an investment. Here's the deal. You don't really need to see a merger between Tesla and XAI because the fact of the matter is Tesla and XAI are going to be doing a lot of business together, basically integrated already. A merger technically could be good for both companies, perhaps. There's a lot of logistical kind of issues that could arise from that. Now that XAI is is estimated $200 billion valuation, that would be a 20% reduction in Tesla's price. Essentially, that's at least what tends to happen when you announce a merger. Tesla stock would probably drop 20%. Long term, it would likely be really positive for Tesla. But I don't think you need to see an XAI Tesla merger. I think the companies are going to be intertwined essentially for years and potentially decades to come. I mean, you just seen Grok get integrated into Teslas. There's going to be this relationship, but Tesla taking a stake in XAI could be big. Now, Musk, that owns XAI and Tesla, is contemplating the future business relationship between them all. On X, Musk suggested that Tesla plans to ask shareholders whether Tesla should invest in XAI. The shareholder meeting is November 6th. That is probably the day in which we would actually get to vote on this. Could be as early as this earnings that they float the idea that kind of give us guidance towards November 6th being a shareholder vote for a potential investment into XAI. We'll have to see. I do think this is a very positive development, but still kind of in the early stages, so don't want to speculate too much. XAI has announced Grok for government, along with 2 new partnerships for U.S. government partners. A new contract with the U.S. Department of Defense with a $200 million ceiling. And the awards also go to Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, and XAI, each with $200 million. And this is also pretty interesting. Tesla already has a larger service area in Austin than Waymo. I mean, look at that. Like, the blue is where Waymo currently operates. The scalability of Tesla versus Waymo is unmatched. Elon Musk says that he just had dinner at the retro-futuristic Tesla diner and supercharger. He says the team did great work, making it one of the coolest spots in LA. Now, Elon Musk says that Optimus V3 is amazing, which if you've read some of the recent news, there's been speculation that Optimus is being canceled and delayed, and there's been a lot of bad headlines because certain people have left the Optimus division. But again, this is bigger than one person or a handful of people. Optimus will continue on, and Elon Musk reiterating this is good to hear. And the first Tesla Megapack units have arrived for the $320 million Stanwell battery in Australia. Bid Energy is proposing to build the largest battery energy storage facility in the world, a huge 4 gigawatt-hour battery facility next to a coal mine on the main 330 kV transmission line running between Sydney, Australia, and the soon-to-retire coal-fired power generations on the Central Coast. Tesla is a strong contender to win this battery contract. Now, this next piece of news for Tesla is something that Wall Street is just not even paying attention to today. That's going to be massive. It has to do with the robotaxi and further expansion of the robotaxi. But I just want to say, this video is sponsored by the trading community. Link down below in the description of this video. Long story short, what we're doing over there in the most unique financial service that is available anywhere, we are going out and finding the small cap winners within AI, energy, crypto, biopharma, the big themes of what I believe will be the next decade or two for stocks. Number one, AI, but energy, like the grid is going to have to double, right? Over the next 10, 20 years just to accommodate for AI. These are themes we want to be investing in. You don't want to miss out on that. But also, the biggest returns tend to come from those smaller cap companies. Now, 98% of those companies are bad companies. I would never want to put capital in, okay? It's just small caps in general. 2, 3, 5% of them are great. And I actually like this quote. I think I came up with it. 95% of small cap companies are terrible and you should never invest in them. But 100% of these successful companies today were once small caps. There's massive opportunities in this area for 50x opportunities, right? Like crazy returns, but you have to do the work and find them. They don't just stick out to you. A lot of them do not have retail investors that back them, that do not have a large retail investor following. A lot of them are under the radar of Wall Street. And some of the opportunities that we are investing in are mind-blowing. Like, I can't even believe some of these stocks are doing what they're doing, and then they're trading at bottom of the barrel valuations. Okay, those are the opportunities we are investing in. We're not interested in a 7% yearly return. Sorry. That's not the market we are in. We are in an AI revolution, an AI Cold War with China, and you're going to see rapid advancements in technology, in productivity, in profitability. And I'm just looking for the best outsized, way to play that to get those outsized returns. And we are doing that. That portfolio is up almost 70% year to date. And I believe we can take that from $75,000 today, 76, 77,000, somewhere around there. It fluctuates a lot. Up to over $1 million by 2027 with this strategy. Come join us. Come trade with us. Link down below in the description of this video. Now back to the episode. Now Nathan Garvey on X says spotted near Monterey, I don't know if I'm saying that right, California on July 13th. It looks like some of the prep is being underway to launch the robotaxi in California. That's exciting. So not only are we operational in Austin, Tesla is already paving the way to launch in Phoenix and now California. I mean, if there was any doubt of Tesla's plans for scalability, there shouldn't be at this point. It's just a matter of time. Elon Musk says that he just left the Tesla design studio. This was at 10:30 p.m. last night, and he says the most epic demo ever by the end of the year. And then he says, ever. Tesla's official X account on X, like the official Tesla X account, posted this meme under the post. I mean, there's something big coming for Tesla. That's a fact. Whether it's Optimus, a new vehicle, fucking flying car, yeah, your speculation can do the rest here. There's clearly something coming. Elon says that Tesla would have already invested in XAI if it were up to him, and there will be an upcoming shareholder vote on the matter. Now, the UK government on Sunday announced an $85 million funding to expand the country's EV charging infrastructure as Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander pledged to make it, quote, easier and cheaper for consumers to switch to EVs. Now, in the news today, Donald Trump is really, I don't know, he's having a good morning. He's saying a lot of crazy stuff. Trump, here's one. He says, the market has become calm and nice because of U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. I go on TV and rile the market. He gets a muse out of this. But he's not trying to destroy the markets. He's not trying to destroy the economy. That's kind of what I get out of this. That, like, Bessent is the logical one, and Trump just has fun and goes on TV and says shit that stirs up the markets, but he's not really doing it to cause any damage. Trump on rates says we should be less than 1%. Trump says that interest rates are way too high, that each point cost the US $360 billion. Trump says we have barely begun with tariffs, only on cars and steel. Trump says U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent is doing a fantastic job. Bessent is also seen as someone that could become the new Fed chair. So, I'm paying attention to what Trump says about Bessent. Trump on tariffs says we're still willing to talk. Again, as we've said before, these letters are a negotiations tactic. It's not the end all be all. We're done with negotiations. It's, hey, countries, let's negotiate. We don't want to take 7 years to iron out trade deals. We want to take 7 days or 7 weeks, not an extended period of time. It's about putting pressure on countries to actually negotiate something. Now, this was big news today, and I think this is actually why the VIX is up quite a bit. Trump threatens 100% tariffs on Russian export buyers of oil unless Ukraine peace deal is reached by September. So this would be like India, China, some of our biggest trading partners that buy Russian oil. Now, again, I think this is a pressure tactic, not something that Trump actually wants to implement. I think Trump operates like he wants to put the most amount of pressure on countries to get results without destroying the economy. Like, come on. China has a 55% total tariff on them right now. If they were to get a 100% tariff added onto that, like, you're back to trade China embargo. You're back to depression risks. Trump knows this, okay? It's all about just getting something done. And while this does create uncertainty for markets, you gotta like see through it. You gotta try to understand what Trump is doing here. And when you do, I'm sure Trump doesn't want a depression. I'm sure Trump doesn't want to destroy the economy, okay? Because that's what would happen. So it's like, you really got to logically think, does Trump want his legacy to be one of depression, or does Trump just want to get deals done, want to get peace? I think it's the latter, okay? So under that philosophy, I have to stay steadfast invested in this market while also acknowledging that Trump can be willing to take it right to the edge when he doesn't get what he wants. We've seen that. There was a 145% tariff on China for like 2 weeks. I mean, he took it right to the edge of financial catastrophe. Okay? Which is a good thing. He didn't take it further. Okay? You can, say taco all you want, but it's a good thing that Trump did not cause a depression, I would say. Okay? Now, I think some of these comments about, again, adding additional 100% tariffs really has to do with China, right? Because China is a buyer of Russian oil, and that would be where the real economic pain comes in. Now, I think that's why the VIX is up today. The VIX is up 3.29%, again, because of that threat. Now, September, quite a ways away. The VIX really measures volatility over the next 30 days. So the VIX is up 3.29% today. I find that notable because the Russell, a risk-on index, is up 0.5%. The NASDAQ, another risk-on index, is up close to 0.5%. Well, the S&P and the Dow are lagging. So investors today, they still want to be in risk-on areas, but they do want to start maybe getting a little bit of protection, right? Well, protection is on the cheaper side. That makes sense from a, strategic perspective if you are a hedge fund or institution. Okay. So I'm not surprised you're seeing the VIX up today. And I think it really has to do with those Trump comments around 100% tariff on China, India, right? But it's really just a ploy to get those countries to pressure Putin to stop. And Trump also says today that a NATO deal is fully approved and fully done after meeting with Secretary General, weapons to be delivered immediately to war zones. These are Patriot missile systems and other munitions. Now, the ECB is to discuss a more negative scenario next week than envisioned in June after Trump's latest tariff threat. Also in the news today, according to the Washington Post, White House senior advisor Hassett is rising in the race for the next Fed chief. Trump says we're doing so well, we blow through interest rates. Trump says that Powell doesn't know what he's doing. Trump says the tariffs are kicking in, the economy is strong. Now that's an important statement because tomorrow we have our CPI report, okay? This is the first CPI report that is expected to show tariff inflation, okay? Fed officials believe so, certain individuals on Wall Street believe so, and in theory, right, tariffs create a one-time price increase. Like, it's not the end of the world if we do see inflation in tomorrow's inflation report. Again, even more so because we've been at a low place of inflation. We haven't seen inflation. So it's not the end of the world if we see that one-time price increase. The issue would be is if we start to get a couple inflation reports that come in on the higher side. That's where Wall Street would get, more nervous. But I just don't see that. A lot of companies are not raising prices. They don't want to lose market share to other companies that don't need to raise prices, that can keep prices low. So I think this competitive nature of capitalism mixed with a consumer that is not doing well, that is not strong, there's not a slush fund of money out there in everyone's bank accounts, is really going to keep the lid on inflation. And honestly, I don't think we're going to see an inflation problem. And that's one reason why I'm really bullish on this market. But tomorrow is a big day. If we don't get inflation, that's great. I think stocks are going to rip higher on that. If we do get inflation, again, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be the mentality of we're going to kick the can down the road and let's see what next month's inflation report comes in as. So I do think the risk is skewed towards a positive reaction tomorrow. But hey, I've been surprised before. Trump says, I think we will get a deal with Putin done. But he says that Putin's fooled a lot of people. Trump says, I don't want to call Putin an assassin, but he's a tough guy. And here is the official headline. It says White House official, quote, Trump means he will impose 100% tariffs on Russia, secondary sanctions on other countries that buy oil from Russia if a deal isn't struck in 50 days. That's China, India, Turkey, UAE, Brazil, etc. Trump says, I spoke with Germany and most of the larger countries on tariffs. Trump says, I spoke with Germany and they are really enthusiastic. Trump on tariffs says he is always open to talking, including with Europe. Trump says having a strong Europe is a very good thing. Trump suggests that Europeans should come to the US for trade talks. Trump says we will have more friendly tariffs, whatever that means. Trump says that Russia is wiping out Ukraine's electric infrastructure. And Trump says that trade is great for settling wars. Mexican President Sheinbaum says that Mexico also has a plan for tariffs. Mexico's President Sheinbaum says we have done our part in the fight against fentanyl. The US has to do its part. EU's trade chief Sefcovic says, I believe there is still potential to continue U.S. trade negotiations. And Brazil to ask the U.S. for a tariff reduction to 30%. EU's trade chief says it was clear from EU ministers that they would need to go for rebalancing measures if U.S. talks fail. Now, Bank of America today raised their S&P 500 year-end target from 5,600 to 6,300, which is only about a 0.5% upside from current levels. And I do believe a chase is really going to start as a lot of the trade deal situation gets over with by the end of this year. As we realize we don't have an inflation problem, the Fed begins the process of cutting rates, and hopefully by the end of this year, the economy is doing okay. The big beautiful bill is very stimulative with the deficits. There's those tax policies like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, up to $25,000 for the tips part, $14,500 for overtime, that should help to boost the consumer, get them on maybe a little bit better footing, spur some spending in the economy. Mix all of that together with continued AI investment, continued AI application, and companies excelling with AI from a profitability perspective, from a productivity perspective, should really funnel a lot of money into this market. It should funnel a lot of money into AI stocks, right? And I don't think it's just the high-flying AI stocks, but I think it's these smaller companies as well that will benefit a lot. Again, the trading community, linked down below in the description of this video, is taking full advantage of that. Now, here on the day today, the percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average coming in at 70.15%, which is down from about 76% you were at just a week ago. So you've fallen a little bit, but still looks pretty good. The CNN Fear and Greed Index today is coming in at 77. You are in extreme greed, but just barely by about 2 points. Market momentum is greed, stock price strength, extreme greed, stock price breadth, extreme greed, put and call options, extreme greed, market volatility is neutral, safe haven demand, extreme greed, and junk bond demand in extreme greed. Now, the AI Investor Sentiment Survey from last Thursday showed bullish investors at 41.4%, neutral investors at 23.0%, and bearish investors at 35.6%. So there's still a lot of bears out there, but people are slowly starting to turn a little bit more bullish, which, I mean, is a good thing to see. But I think really, there's a lot of bears. Even Tom Lee said recently that there's more bears now from an institutional perspective than there was in 2023. And I think that's just because there's a lot going on right now, and there is a lot of risk. Like if you believe Trump is actually willing to implement 100% tariffs on China, there is a depression risk. a lot of Wall Street believes that could possibly happen. I don't think that Trump would do that. I think, again, he doesn't want his legacy to be one of massive depression. And I think Trump realizes, like, hey, the economy would not just get by with a trade embargo on China. Like, a lot of Wall Street doesn't understand this. Thus, they're going to keep chasing as we knock out risk catalyst. They're going to get more heavily allocated to stocks. And that is part of the bull thesis by the end of this year as well. So let me know your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Come check out, as I said before, the link down below in the description of this video for the trading community. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.